You always talk about like whether or not you're confident in your decision.
Okay.
Facts?
Sure.
You'd be such a crazed GM in sports. Imagine right now you were a GM.
That's why they get paid the big bucks, and that's why that's their job and not mine.
But I'm saying, imagine if you were a GM in the NFL and you had to decide our first-round pick. If it's a bust, you're going to feel like you're a loser. If it's the right pick, you're a hero.
That's why when people ask me questions like, so who do you think they should surround Aaron Rodgers with? Like, how do they complete this team? I'm like, it's not my job. Ask him. Ask them. Why are you asking me? I don't get paid that money for that.
But I'm saying, like, Mel Kiper and these guys, they can do their mock drafts. And if they're wrong, Covino, it's like any big sports talking head, including us, Colin, Dan Patrick, over on the other network, Stephen A. You can say whatever you want. If you're wrong, who cares? It could be funny content. If you're a GM and you make the wrong choice, that could haunt you forever. Think of all the people that passed on Patrick Mahomes. To this day, people talk about the Blazers passing on Michael Jordan.
We used to work with Steve Phillips, who's super handsome and super talented. Super nice guy.
Great gray pompadour.
Great head of hair. I mean, he had a Leslie Nielsen pompadour to dream of. And a really nice dude. I'm not even kidding you. Former GM of the Mets. And he commented to us, like, not a day went by that someone didn't bring up, like, a bad move he made or Mo Vaughn or something like that.
Yeah.
Someone who didn't amount to the greatness that they were supposed to be. It's a tough and thankless job being a GM of anything.
But, like, C.J. Stroud, I mean, you could be making the pick that everyone's like, oh, that's the pick to make. But what if it's the wrong pick, Covino? Do you think you have it in you to be a GM, or would that haunt you?
That's why I don't do it. It would haunt me. No way. No way. Not, there's a particular personality type for those jobs. Not me. So you're right about that.
Once upon a time.
That's why they do that. What are those tests, Spot, that you figure out? What was that called? Those tests to figure out what you're good at?
An STD test. What test did you take? I don't know.
Aptitude?
Aptitude test. So you see what you're good at, what you're better at. My aptitude test said, that I should be a clown on the microphone. And that's what I do.
Now, I'm looking at the first round, like, projections. And again, we got that special here on FSR that you could hear 8 p.m. on Thursday. C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, who's got some hype, and Will Levis. 4 quarterbacks that we don't know. Just a couple years ago, the Niners gave up everything for Trey Lance. And what ends up happening? Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, comes into the mix out of necessity, ends up looking like, oh, did we miss this guy? What happened? And now, if they were both healthy, he'd be the starter over the number 3 pick. The Aaron Rodgers scenario has Zach Wilson, who the Jets put their future in the hands of. Hey, we got the number 2 pick, Zach Wilson, and his hot mom. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't predict those things. They should have a better understanding and better knowledge of than we do, because that's their job. But for every guy who doesn't make it, there's a surprise who does, right? So it goes both ways. Now, this hour, guys, we're going to do some Tyson trivia and give you a Tyson recap, because we did catch up with him in Vegas. We were in Vegas for the fight this weekend, so stick around for that and qualify for a bribery ball. You could play along at home. But speaking of ball, can we talk travel ball real quick?
Yeah, let me just give you one thing, just for the heck of it. I'm sorry, and then we'll move on. Only because
this must be your personality type, not being able to focus.
What do you say?
Nothing. Continue. Carry on.
I'm just saying, if you look, I see what you did there. If you look at, let's say, the 2017 draft, all these teams decided, I don't want Patrick Mahomes. Doesn't that just show you that these guys have such pressure on them to make the right decision for their team?
Yeah. I mean, hey, don't you think our boss who hired us had a little pressure on him to be like, yo, I'm vouching for these guys. I hope they deliver?
Yeah.
I mean, it transcends football.
Here's the thing. You're right. Our boss, anyone's boss, if you vouch for someone and they deliver, you feel really good about your choice. But if that person, you hire someone or draft someone in a sport and they don't, everyone's going to look at you like, weren't you the guy that thought he'd change the franchise? Let me just go over the first.
There's so much of this on every level. Like, take work and sports out of it. You ever vouch for a dude and you're bringing him into your crew? Like, hey, man, this guy's kind of cool. And then you bring him out with your crew, and they're like, that's your friend? He's kind of weak.
This happened to us once. Spot, were you there when Covino brought some weird dude to our, like, we were hanging in Hoboken, New Jersey, having drinks.
Weird dude, see? See, not everybody's going to love him. So I vouched for this guy. There's a little bit of pressure on me because I was like, yo, this guy's cool. And then you guys didn't like him, and then I felt like a fool after that. But remember, how about that kid who brought Danielle LaRussa out to the beach? And they, remember that kid? He was like, yeah, I got a new friend.
He's the new kid in town.
New kid in town. Then Danielle LaRussa got his ass beat on the beach, and they're like, yeah, real cool friend you brought out here.
You never saw that kid again?
Never saw that kid again.
Well, just looking at that one draft, Cleveland went with Myles Garrett. He's a star. Chicago, after all the analysis and combine and tape from college, they said, nope, Mitchell Trubisky. Trubisky's been, not
You're turning into your dad, You put an extra T in there for no reason at all, just letting you know.
Oh, Trubisky. Dad, it's Trubisky. Niners took
That's
Solomon.
what I said.
Niners,
like my dad who calls it Chunky Cheese.
Dad, it's Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah, Chunky Cheese. Solomon Thomas, Leonard Fournette, good running back, Jags. Corey Davis to the Titans, then Jamal Adams to the Jets. Keep going down the list. You get to pick 8. Oh, Carolina took McCaffrey. Good choice. Mahomes at 10, which means 9 teams said, nah. So just to show you, you never know. That's why I love the draft because, again, you see all these kids getting an opportunity. It's going to change the family stars. And no one really knows what they're talking about because who knows what's going to work out?
Yeah, you can't predict that. I mean, like I said, they have a better understanding. They have an assumption. They have a belief, but we'll see what happens. Exciting for sure.
T.J. Watt was the 30th pick. There were 29 teams that said, no, there's better defensive players on the board. Budda Baker, second rounder. Dalvin Cook, second rounder. In that same draft. Alvin Kamara, Cooper Kupp. They were third rounders in that draft. So, again, you could be judgy, or you could say, oh, man, I saw a video floating around social media. It was on Barstool. It was an Eagles fan when they drafted Jalen Hurts, and he was losing his mind. Like, why would they do that? And, like, right now, who would not want Jalen Hurts? So, just a reminder, a day and a half ahead of time, 2 days ahead of time, whoever your team picks, you don't know yet. If you're cheering or booing too much, you're clueless. The end.
Do you think of Brett Favre sitting there in his tight jean shorts, getting that phone call?
On the old school phone? Yeah, that's a good one.
Do you ever think about, too,
I think of C.D. Lamb pushing away his girl at the time. Remember that clip?
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
C.D. Lamb's girl. What was she trying to get, like, in the shot?
She was trying to get the camera time.
No, or she was trying to kiss him.
And the mom was like, get out of here. This ain't your moment. By the way, she was in the wrong.
Oh, yeah?
By far, she was in the wrong. That's not your moment. That's his moment. This is the family moment. Beat it. Is she still in the picture? I don't think she is.
It's his wife. No, I don't
know.
know.
Either way, it was not about her in that moment. But you're going to see a lot of lives change. It's very exciting for sure.